Parliament's legal unit has advised the Standing Committee on Public Accounts, or SCOPA, to wait for the Zondo Commission's final report on state capture before it decides on how to handle the controversial leaked audio tape. A third part of the state capture report is yet to be released. Now, in the tape itself, President Ramaphosa appears to admit to having some knowledge about the use of using public funds for ANC campaigns, but in his written reply to SCOPA a few days ago, the president says he has no concrete first-hand information. He was simply discussing what was already in the public. Now, yesterday is where it got interesting. ANC MPs voted against calling Ramaphosa to appear before SCOPA. So let's get the reaction. I'm joined by Dr. Harlan Cloete, a research fellow from Free State University. Dr. Cloete, good morning to you. Let me put the question to you first. If it seems, as the president says, in this audio tape he was discussing what seems to be in the public sphere already, why not just appear before SCOPA to have a conversation? What's your thoughts?
Good morning to you and good morning to all the viewers. You know, I think the first question one has to ask is, if a member of your own party leaks an audio, what is the intention? Is it malicious? Is it part of the factional battles reigning within the ANC? Or what was the intention? I think yesterday the president was also on record of saying that he has got no problem appearing before the commission, before the committee. But he suggests that there is rather wait. So the intention of the leaked audio should be questioned, I think, as well.
So, but why would the president, one of the reports coming out saying that the president will appear if he is asked to do so? Would it not be forthcoming and in the public interest and part of presidential responsibility to rather offer himself up and say, I know there's confusion, I understand there's contestation, I know there are questions around this, let me offer up my time to go instead of waiting to be called? The optics of it makes it look like the president doesn't want to talk about the issue.
I think he is on record, and I'm not a defender of the president or nor his spokesperson, but I'm saying on the record, if you read his response, he's saying the things that he said in the ANC meeting as party president, those things are in the public domain. I mean, some of these things have been said since last year, with former members of the state security themselves admitting in courts that state funds have been used to further party political interests. And so I think the president's response is that, let's wait for the final report of the Zondo Commission. And in the State of the Nation report earlier this week, he also said that, that they will act on these recommendations. So I don't think it's a question of him ducking and diving his responsibilities or a reluctance to appear before SCOPA. He's saying, let's simply wait on that final report, look at that recommendations. And he said, I would gladly appear before this commission. That's what he's on record of saying that.
So this now does bring into question as well, though, what is the next step here that opposition parties are going to take? The EFF very vocal, as they normally are, saying that this is a protection of the president, not to hold him accountable. What do you imagine the steps would be to compel the president to come forward that the political parties, opposition political parties, will now try and take?
I think that, like I said earlier, there's no reluctance on the part of the president. If the president simply said, I refuse to appear before this committee, it would have been a different case. He said part of these renewal and trying to combat corruption is to act on these recommendations from the Zondo Commission. And so political parties, as much as the role of SCOPA is to investigate fruitless and wasteful expenditure and to play that parliamentary oversight role. And so they are within their rights and within their scope to ask these questions. And I think, let's wait till the end of the month and see what happens. If the president does not react to these recommendations or shows a reluctance, then it's a different ballgame. But the man is on record of saying that I will appear before any committee and I will take responsibility.
And as far as from inside the party, Dr. Bush, you touched on this. It's an interesting point I want to pick up on. The intent of leaking the audio. This does talk to the factionalism, doesn't it? Potentially within the party in the build-up to elective conference, doesn't it?
Certainly so. I mean, what would be the intention for me to record a part of a conversation and leak it? What is the intent? What is that? Is it to embarrass the president? Is it to call him out as being a hypocrite? What is the intention? And so one should be able to look at what is the intention of leaking something like this to the media, and what is the outcome that you desire. I think the president, if he has got his work cut out for him. If he moves to the left, he's criticized. If he goes to the right, he's criticized. And so I think this is part of the challenges that he's facing in trying to renew the party, in trying to rid the party from corruption, and to build this unity, which I think is a difficult task.
The IFP's MP Umkhuleko Hlengwe coming out and saying that could view the president as something of a whistleblower if he were to come out and actually have a frank discussion and an honest and open interaction with SCOPA about this as well. This could, if handled well, Doctor, actually spin off in a positive direction for the president. That could be a route he could take as well.
Yeah, I think ethical accountability and transparency, those are the bedrocks of democracy, and the president has been emphasizing this. This is what the Auditor General has said in the last report, I think, on local government. He says the one thing that will save our country is ethical, accountable government. And the president is on record, like you say. He has appointed various commissions. He has been open and transparent with the South African public. And I think the final Zondo report will then put the entire corruption project under spotlight, and the consequences. South Africans want people that are corrupt to go to jail. There must be consequences. And so this is, I think, it's an exciting time for us as South Africans, because things that were hidden are coming to the surface. Openness, transparency, accountability, those are the bedrocks of democracy.
Yeah, it's the openness that we're now waiting for, Dr. Harlan Cloete, which I'm sure we'll get more clarity as that third part of the Zondo Commission report comes out. My thanks to Dr. Harlan Cloete, a research fellow from the Free State University. Now, it's when that third report, Tumza, comes out, that the president has said, let's wait for that, and then I'm quite happy. He's happy to do it now, quite happy to do it when that third part of the Zondo Commission report actually comes out. But make no mistake, once that comes out, this conversation is going to be back in the spotlight.
Absolutely.
And opposition parties not going to be nearly as timid when that does come out later this month.
It will not be avoided at all. All right, we'll hear from the president when the time arises. But let's move